and welcome back to KD's Business Tips. In this video, we're going to talk about ways to keep your corporation in good standing. As a corporation, you need to make sure you fulfill the requirements and obligations in Canada by Corporations Canada. And you also have provincial requirements in the province you're incorporated in as well. So stuff like annual return. Well, that's one of the first obligations you need is you need to make sure you file your annual return. If you don't file your annual return for 2 years in a row, they're going to dissolve your corporation. They call it striking. It's going to be struck, but it's basically dissolved. It's no longer. And then you have to go reinstate it, which costs a bunch of money. So the annual return is just like an annual registration. That's all it is. You just got to go say, hey, was there any change in shareholders or directors, and you sign the form, you pay the fee. Now, if you're on a business package with accounting with us at KD, we take care of it for you, but you got to make sure it's done. If it doesn't get done, the corporation could disappear on you. And if you wait too long and it disappears and nothing's going on, it's going to cause you a lot of problems. Okay, a lot of problems, trust me. Now, also, you got to make sure your address is always updated with the registry. So mailing address, registered address, records address. There's 3 different addresses. You got to make sure the address is always updated to the registry. If you move or things change, that could be a detriment because you could miss an important notice from the government or important notice about your corporation or anything for that matter because it's at the wrong address. So very important to file a change of registered office address or a change of address if needed if you're moving or changing address. Now, same things happens if you make changes to your corporation. Keep it updated. If you're changing directors, things like that, they need to be filed with the registry. Very, very important that you know. And then secondly, if you are changing directors, you want to let CRA know because otherwise, if you don't let them know, they're going to keep going after the old director if there's a problem. Okay, so very important. And the last thing is making sure your articles always reflect the shares because if you're issuing more shares, you got to look back at your articles to make sure you can always amend the articles. It's costly. You can't backdate that amending. You got to do it now. But you got to make sure your articles of incorporation equal the share certificate classes that are available that are given for the number of shares and what type are authorized, A's, B's, C's, and so forth. So if you make sure that these things are all up to date and all up to par, you should have very little issues with the corporation itself. The last thing is making sure your tax filings are done for the corporation. For sure your corporate income tax return. If you have a GST number, your GST returns. If you have payroll, your payroll returns. If you import, export, etc. Making sure your tax filings are also taken care of is the last thing. And if you do all these things, your corporation will be in good standing. If you have any questions, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for being a part of our Business Tips, and we'll see you in the next video.